Dingus and Dongus.
Debacle.
Episode 16.
I love Donny Cates.
We love Donny Cates.
We love Donny Cates.
We love you, Donny Cates.
Oh.
Welcome to the Dingus and Dongus Debacle, where we love Donny Cates.
Yes, and you should too.
Why should we love Donny Cates?
Because he wrote Thanos Wins.
Yep.
And obviously, Cosmic Ghost Rider we talked about last time.
Yep.
This time around, we're talking about Thanos Wins.
And that is collecting the Thanos solo run from 2016, numbers 13 through 18.
Yep, plus annual at end. This story takes place in the far future, in which Thanos has essentially obliterated the entire universe.
Everything, yes.
Yeah. So it starts out with Thanos in the present day, confronted by Cosmic Ghost Rider, who's been asked by old Thanos to bring him to the future for one last little problem that he has.
Right.
Thanos, young Thanos, old Thanos.
Okay, fair, yeah. We know they're different because of the gray facial hair.
Yes,
And
that awesome beard.
Yeah.
But yeah, young Thanos is, reluctant, but Cosmic Ghost Rider just kind of drags them into the future anyway.
Like, look, we got to fight first? Is that what we're going to do? Okay, all right, now come on.
Right?
Yeah.
Drag to the future, old Thanos basically tells young Thanos, look, I did it all. We basically won.
Right.
We are this close to giving Lady Death everything. Literally everything. Because almost everything in the universe is fucking dead.
Yep. This is probably my favorite love story I've ever read in my whole life.
Yeah.
It's a great love story.
It is. It is. The lengths he will go for love. So yeah, we're in the future, and fucking Thanos has Hulk as a dog.
As a puppy dog. Which, so, A, is he doing it because he thinks it's funny? Or B, he just can't kill Hulk for whatever reason?
I think he does it because it amuses him.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like you see Hulk in like this little chamber filled with bones, which I'm assuming are like Thanos been feeding Hulk like his friends.
For ages, yeah.
Which is all sorts of fucked up.
Yep.
The young Thanos, old Thanos gets talking, finds out that he needs help with one last opponent. He's called the Fallen One, and it's Herald Galactus, so fucking Silver Surfer.
But he's not so silver.
No, he's fucking black.
He's black. I need to read what happened to make that be the case.
Yeah. Well, Donny Cates wrote Silver Surfer Black.
Okay, then.
I'm pretty sure it was Donny Cates.
All right, well, I'm going to have to read more Donny Cates shit then.
Oh, no. Oh, no. But when fucking Surfer arrives, he's wielding Mjolnir with the entire Annihilation Wave.
Yes. So you first see him coming in without Mjolnir.
Yeah.
With the Annihilation Wave. It's like, oh, this is going to be so cool.
Yeah.
And it was short-lived. It was short-lived. Yeah. But the monster, it looked cool.
Right. Because the Mjolnir shows up later because, like, he was saying, Thanos was asking him what took him so long.
What took you so long? It's like, I've been working on becoming worthy.
Yeah.
And then, zoom!
Dude, that shit was so cool.
I flipped to that page. Well, I didn't flip. I scrolled to that page, and I just paused for a moment and chuckled because it's fucking ridiculous.
Right?
It is so ridiculous.
Right?
I loved it, but I just sat there and just laughed. It's like, God damn it. Really? Okay. All right, then why not?
Right? Now, the next part is one of my favorite parts of the story, is Thanos telling Surfer that he's going to kill him with that hammer.
Yep.
And it pays off big time.
It does. Absolutely. It was a heavy moment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The last hope of the universe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, no, yeah. I mean, podcast is just one giant spoiler for whatever we talk about anyway. So,
Yeah.
It's basically, Thanos, the two Thanos, beats up Surfer, and then I forget which of the Thanos, but basically drags Surfer and slams his head onto the handle of Mjolnir and pierces his skull. Yep. Didn't have to pick up the hammer or anything.
Or anything.
But he killed him with that goddamn hammer.
He did.
That was like satisfying in a weird, sad way.
It was. Perfect way to put it. A satisfying and a weird, sad way. Yeah. And Cates was even saying, or describing the fight as being it was like a perfect battle for the two Thanos fighting. And they weren't even talking or anything. It's just this smooth, practiced, rehearsed fighting.
Right.
And it was really cool.
Because what, old Thanos had, I'm assuming it's Surtur's sword because it's a flaming greatsword.
Yeah.
And the two of them were just like tossing it back and forth.
Yep. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And one point also, Cosmic Ghost Rider, I think it was when the Annihilation Wave first happened.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Thanos is like, hey, you want to use some of that hell power? And then Cosmic Ghost Rider's like, oh yeah, sometimes I forget about that. And then,
right.
And I think that was right before Surfer showed up.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't the Annihilation Wave.
Somewhere
it doesn't
matter.
Yeah.
It happened, and it was cool.
And it was funny. Like, oh yeah, I can do these things. And then just basically seemed like a nuclear bomb.
Right.
Pretty much went off.
Final glimmer of hope of the universe is dead. Lady Death doesn't show up.
Nope.
Still not pleased.
Insatiable.
Yeah. And old Thanos, I guess, realizes, oh wait,
She's like, shit.
Work's not done. I gotta go.
Well, I think old Thanos knew that.
Yeah?
I have a feeling he knew that.
Okay.
I think because it was
right.
young Thanos
Right.
that was saying, well, we've done the thing.
Right.
And then he's like, oh.
And I guess that's the real reason young Thanos was brought to the future.
Right, because old Thanos, eventually it's shown out, was like saying, please kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And then young Thanos is like, kings don't beg. Which is a throwback to the beginning of the book.
Right.
When he was conquering other planets.
Right. Dude, that sequence of like Thanos fighting Thanos and then young Thanos denying old Thanos
He's like, no.
what he wants. It's so fucking cool.
And, yes.
And his last words to old Thanos is, you're weak, so I'm going to go back to my timeline and make sure you never exist.
And he did it.
Yeah.
he did it.
Yeah.
I also thought that when Lady Death did show up, that she was really hot for a comic book character.
Yep.
I was like, oh, you're pretty hot. You got little cool little lines on your face, and you're wearing the black dress, and nice.
Right.
I would kill the universe for you.
I get it. Now.
Yeah, I understand, Thanos. It was also, going back to the beginning of the book, too, it really set the tone of the book, because it starts out basically giving the origin story of Thanos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then through a couple pages, it was talking about the mother. I think it was his mother. And then at the end of the second page on the bottom right-hand side, it said, but anyway, he killed his mom. Or no, he was 12, but anyway, he killed her. Or something along those lines. And then you flip it and it's like, oh, so he just killed his mom. Okay, got it. At 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, there's a I forgot what it was called, but I mean, it's basically Thanos' origins, and it's like about him like growing up on Titan, and then killing his mom, and then going off doing other shit.
Like, anyway, he killed her.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go do these things.
So that ending with Lady Death actually showing up, but not saying a fucking word.
Mm-hmm.
The book actually ends with her. So, and it says like, okay, yeah, she showed up, but it wasn't for a wedding; it's for a funeral.
Right.
I thought that was a pretty cool way to end.
Yeah. Could it not have been both?
Yeah. I
If
mean,
this is what Thanos wanted, I guess I don't know. Does Thanos die?
well,
I know.
I think what really happens is that that timeline
phases out of existence.
Dies.
But is that death?
I don't know.
Because one of the things that they mention, and I forget where it is, it's probably in the annual now that I'm thinking about it, is that Thanos got excited at the prospect of not only being able to kill or watch things die, but also kill the future and watch the future die.
Yep.
And different realities die.
Right.
I was like, oh. This is an interesting thought exercise, I guess.
Right, like...
Can you kill a future if it never happens?
Right.
And at what point does time travel start fucking with that?
Right. I mean, like, to erase it, at some point it must have happened.
Right.
But once it is erased and it never happened.
Right. So you can go round and round on that.
Right.
In this context, because I read it and the thing existed, it died also.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
It's overall great story, really fun, and it's fucking Donny Cates.
Yep. It was less silly than the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just because who the character's focused
on,
right? Cosmic Ghost Rider is on Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Right.
This is Thanos on Thanos. And I thought he did a great job on both books portraying what both of these characters are. Right. And then you have two different titles that have both characters in it, and the tone of the book matches the appropriate character.
Right. It shows his versatility as a writer.
It was excellent.
Yeah. Now, here's one interesting thing I was thinking about. So when we were talking about Cosmic Ghost Rider, where we mentioned, like, Frank Castle's on this, like, impossible Sisyphusian quest, right? Mm-hmm. And realizes it's impossible.
Correct.
Whatever he's doing.
Right.
Now, in this book, it's kind of like the other side of the coin, where Thanos goes out with a seemingly impossible task of destroying the universe, but he succeeds, and it's not satisfactory. It's not enough.
Fair, yeah. I didn't even consider that. Yeah.
It's not enough. So we're like with the both two books together, like they're talking about very similar things, like what's enough, like giving purpose to your life or whatever. And I don't know, I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't read into that far myself, but it absolutely makes sense.
Yeah,
like it's there.
So. Yeah, and I like that it is like just these two books back to back by the same guy discussing these issues.
Yep.
In a fun, colorful comic book.
Absolutely.
Way.
Oh, I also really enjoyed the art for Cosmic Ghost Rider's motorcycle pre-Galactus, post Mephisto. Like when it was just fires and machine guns. It was really cool.
Hell yeah.
And then also, did Galactus get decapitated by Thanos? Because I saw a Galactus head.
Yeah.
And what?
Yep. They went up against Thanos, and I think there's a small panel where Thanos just got his hands up with an energy blast, destroying Galactus.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And you see Galactus charging in with guns.
Yes.
I don't know if I've ever seen Galactus with guns.
I haven't prior to that.
Yeah.
And it stood out also because the gun looked ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks like something Cable would use.
Absolutely. I also liked, we had talked about it last episode also, Thanos doing the penance stare.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing it by literally just taking Ghost Rider's head off the body and then holding it up and staring at it. And then chucking it back to the body when he's done.
Right.
Like, that's ridiculous. So this hurts, right?
It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's quality stuff. Moving on to the annual.
Mm-hmm.
One segment that I really enjoyed, and I would like to somehow explore it a little bit further, that I don't think I can and will ever exist. But to prove his love... Thanos, to prove his love for Lady Death. Is that her name, Lady Death?
Yeah.
She's just Death, right?
Yeah, well, Lady Death, whatever.
Okay.
Same
gotcha.
thing.
Yeah, okay. So Lady Death, to prove his love to Lady Death, and Mephisto's there too.
Oh, yeah.
He's floating around in this weird artsy ship in space. And then Mephisto saying, "Oh, you've shown her power. Now you need to show her like arts and culture or whatever." So we get little panels of these different planets. One of which was these trees that would grow, and then while there's growing, it has it writes a story
on the leaves.
And then when it dies or when fall comes, the I guess humanoids, the beings, gather up these leaves and form stories out of the segments that these plants wrote.
Right.
I thought that was really cool.
Hell yeah.
And then there's the one where there's stories written on pathways.
Oh yeah.
And you have to
and they're blindfolded.
They're blindfolded and they have to crawl, and they basically take their own pilgrimage across the world.
Right.
Everyone's different paths because it's a choose your own adventure storyline.
Exactly.
You know? And then a whole series of these. There's like a theater planet. Anyway, a whole bunch of interesting artistic planets that Thanos decides to just obliterate simultaneously, and it lights up the universe sky in pretty colors.
Yep.
It's like, oh, this is arts. Like,
yeah. And his what does he say? He's like, this is all to show that art and all that stuff is just a meaningless distraction.
Exactly. Absolutely.
It's just, it comes a depth of nihilism. It's so cool.
And then Mephisto's captioned and saying, like, deep down, he's got an artistic heart or something like that. Because he did all this, and it's his own form of art.
Right.
You know, just destroying these planets. Pretty colors. Again, to satiate Lady Death and woo Lady Death. Which, just, god damn it.
It's really cool. It's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Quick note on that ship. That's actually the little thing that Thanos built during Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where the little final battle took place. Because what happened was he was done obliterating, half the life on in the universe.
Done obliterating.
Yeah, he was done obliterating, and Lady Death said, still not talking, and that's when Mephisto jumps in because he already did that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's a nice little addendum to that Infinity Gauntlet story. Now, onto one of the stories we talked about before about obliterating futures. I thought that one was pretty cool, too. It's basically like Thanos coming down to Earth and being nice to the old lady and helping her across the street.
Yes.
By doing that, he delays a bus, which sets off a chain reaction leading to this lady who would have brought world peace or cured all disease.
Right, cured all disease, made Earth a healthy living place.
Right. She doesn't end up doing any of that, and on her deathbed, Thanos shows up and lets her know what could have happened if he didn't show up that day to help that old lady.
Exactly. So it's, Thanos is helping an old lady. What the hell? Yep. And then shows up like, this is what your life could have been. Just want to let you know I made that so it's not the case.
Right.
I hope you enjoyed your potato chips and television. Which, by the way, after reading that, I walked up to the store and got potato chips and watched television. I was like, oh, that sounds delicious. So I did.
Yeah, Thanos to thank for that.
Yeah, thank you, Thanos.
Yeah. That's your friend.
And then his torturous journey, annual torturous journey for the fellas. He was born.
Oh, yeah.
And then every year on his birthday, he just does some fuck shit to him.
Yep.
It starts off by taking the baby blanket and then killing his father.
Yeah.
And then so on and so forth. And like, you are a son of a bitch.
Right.
Oh my God.
And the dude is as he gets older, he starts asking Thanos why.
Right.
And Thanos he doesn't answer him. Just no reason.
He just, every year except one, he comes and basically tortures him. And it's a storytelling device basically showing that murder and mayhem, catastrophic events, aren't his only MO. He enjoys misery.
Right.
No matter how small it may seem. For example, taking a blanket away from a baby and leaving the window open.
Right.
He gets his jollies from that misery.
Yeah, it isn't just killing people. It's just introducing pain and suffering.
Exactly, right. And then the guy, was saying, I don't even care that you do it anymore. I've accepted it.
Mhm.
If I could just know why. And he's about to go on telling this whole rationale behind what he's saying. And Thanos just reaches up in his shitty apartment, says, I don't care, busts a pipe and starts flooding and walks out. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what you have to say. Oh my God, what a dick.
Right?
And that was his whole, like, because at that, I want to say it was like in the dude's 30s or something, or 40s. Yeah. So he just did a lot of shit.
Yeah, at that point, like, what you see in the room, like, is just ramshackle, just stuff everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real lighting.
Yep.
Yeah, you could tell, like, the guy was in a bad place. Another one of the stories I really enjoyed was that last one, about the race of people who were essentially immortal because of their god, who stores their souls or whatever into a little database.
Well, they reach singularity, basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you were good, you get reincarnated faster than the people who are bad.
Right.
So what Thanos does is comes over, kills their god, because he's curious what they would do if they didn't have this little security blanket of, like, eternal life and rewards for being good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking dick.
Yeah. And of course, in the comic, people just immediately start turning against each other because they were scared.
Yeah, they freak out. They panic.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, man. You can go west or east. You can go that direction.
Mm-hmm.
The god's over there if you don't believe. Like, he's dead.
Right.
You can go have a look.
And I actually really like the art style for that one, too.
I wasn't crazy about the beings. I liked the god's artwork.
Yeah.
But the beings themselves, it was just, I didn't hit it. They looked like onions.
Okay.
And
little onion heads.
They're little onion heads. And it was like a weird, like a hazy, oily brushstroke type of look. And it didn't land so well for me.
Fair.
Like, if you're going to go for that kind of look, I prefer more watercolor.
Right.
But that sounded really pretentious as it came out of my mouth. But hey, we're doing a podcast, so what's more pretentious than that?
So, are we missing any stories?
Very well, maybe. But
okay, there's the bunny ones.
Ah, yes.
That one's just
with
straight
the little,
silly.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop because the art's like
super cutesy,
cartoony. And round.
Right.
Lots of round.
Right.
But those little bunnies were, I don't know, they were just pleasers?
Yeah.
Whatever that, like, to a detriment of their society. Like,
right. And even Thanos at one point is like, this isn't even fun anymore.
Yeah, it's not as fun when you guys do it.
Yeah.
Like, what? Bye.
Oh, yeah, because, like, they were essentially eviscerating each other for him.
In his honor.
Right.
Yeah. So, you want me to stab him? Here. Yay! Stabbing!
I remember the very last line of that story. It's like, yay, mass graves! It's like hugging.
Yes! Yes!
It's like, I was trying to wrap my head around it. It's like, yeah, it's kind of like hugging. Like, if touching another person is just like incidental touching is hugging, yes.
Yeah, that story didn't land too well either. Like, the idea was interesting, and it's on point, on theme with Thanos and these other stories.
I think it's just a really silly break.
Yeah, big time. Little palate cleanser,
yeah,
but still in tune with the story. Oh, I could see that.
Now, I wasn't quite sure, but Donny Cates wrote all the entire annual, right?
I didn't double check that.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure if there were other authors that, wrote some of
little
the
segments.
stories.
Yeah. I could see that being the case, but I did not double check.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, neither did I, but whatever.
We can find out momentarily.
Yeah. You can find out. Yeah.
It took me a minute to realize, like, you weren't talking to me.
No.
You were looking at my phone.
Yes.
So my head was like, you want me to stop this and look right now?
No.
And then my head was like, do you think the phone's just going to do it?
Yes.
And then I realized, oh, you're talking to the people that don't listen to the podcast.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yes. I was instructing the ether to look this information up. It's just like the idea of an audience is so beyond comprehension that you didn't even think I was possibly talking to anybody else.
Well, it just took me a minute to get there.
It's fair, though. It's fair. That means we don't have a big head yet. Yet.
Yeah.
Well, at least you know.
Yeah.
Maybe I do.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. Read Donny Cates. All of it.
Yeah, I'm excited to just read some of his non-Marvel stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You know?
God Country.
Yep.
That's where I started.
I keep hearing that.
Yeah.
Even in the little Discord thingy I'm in.
Yeah.
All right. So I like Buzzkill.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, and I've liked everything Marvel related I've read.
Right.
I was like, well, let's see what this is about.
It's so good.
Yeah. Blood Ceremony, Lord of Misrule is the album.
Yes.
They're out of Toronto, I believe. It also came out in 2016. Thanos started in 2016. That was pure coincidence.
Huh.
I don't look at dates first in anything I look at.
No.
So, coincidence. And the album, as I mentioned, is Lord of Misrule, out on Rise Above Records.
So it's a very psychedelic, doomy album.
Yep. It's a cult rock, really, you know.
And it lets you know with the very first second.
Yep. And I loved overall, the album was whatever.
Yeah.
I loved the opening moment of it.
Yep.
And I loved like halfway through track 5, like Half Moon something.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Because of the flute.
Yeah. Yeah, the flute's fun.
That woman can jam on the flute like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, I think it makes up for the kind of mundane guitar work through most of the album.
Right.
There's some parts where it's not, but...
It's fairly generic.
Yeah,
though.
most of it's like, this is mundane guitar work.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a flute.
Yeah.
And there are flute solos.
Yep.
And flute riffs. 'Cause I don't know what they're called on a flute, so I'm just calling them what I call guitar parts.
Flute riffs.
Yeah. And it was just... It opened up with the flute like that, and I listened to pretty regularly a lot of like hippie shit from the 60s.
Yeah.
And I got that vibe instantly from this. So I enjoyed it overall
Mm-hmm.
because I got that hippie vibe,
Right.
you know. But that track, the last half of track 5 was so good to me that it makes this album worth a listen.
Yeah.
Just so you can listen to that segment. Because you got a flute solo thing going on, and then halfway through the flute solo, a guitar solo happens, and then it's a harmony between the flute and guitar. All while this is happening, a layer beneath it, she's doing like this very rhythmic, like ceremony chant, saying whatever the title is over and over, like Half Moon City or whatever, Streets. Just so that's being chanted down in the mix with these awesome flute guitar.
It's a little magical moment.
It was magical, and I think they probably wanted that because they like to sing about occult things and Satan and witchcraft stuff. So you cast a spell and it's stuck, y'all.
One of my gripes with the album is I don't particularly like the lady's voice.
No?
No. She's a good singer, but I just don't like the, I guess, timbre quality.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just, I mean, it's like, it brought up an interesting thought to me. Is okay, somebody could be a good singer, technically, like they hit all the right notes and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you don't particularly like the quality of their voice,
it's never going to sit.
Yeah. So it's interesting thought, like, say, Bruce Dickinson, great singer. But if somebody doesn't like the particular quality of his voice, might not just ever like Bruce Dickinson, even though he's really highly regarded.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I appreciated, I guess, her tone
Yeah.
was a little bit lower than most female vocalists.
Yeah, she sings a little lower on the register.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, and I thought it fit well with the music.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it ended also, like the last, we'll say 30 seconds or so.
Yeah.
It just is weird, creepy, like, it sounds like Warped Record sound.
Oh,
almost.
yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't like how it faded out and then came back in.
Right.
I wish it would have just faded out. It's like, oh, that was a good way to end this. That weird, haunting sound. And then it came back. You fuckers.
Yeah.
That was unnecessary.
And that's the impression I get from a couple of the tracks. Like the way they dragged out the chorus of the very first song.
Yes.
Devil's Widow.
Yes.
It just went on for way too fucking long. They didn't need it. I didn't think they had to go back to it.
Right. And it kind of shocks you a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you enjoy, so after I listened to Blood Ceremony, I went back and listened to Jess and the Ancient Ones.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I liked it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, similar.
Yeah, similar style, but like for me, if I was thinking about listening to like psychedelic, occult rock or whatever, I personally would lean away from Blood Ceremony based on this particular album.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't listened to any of the other ones.
Yeah.
So maybe it would change.
It's very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I just go to Witchcraft because I'm a sucker. So.
Fair. Yeah.
And they have a little bit of variation in that.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. I wouldn't listen to black metal by Witchcraft.
No. No. We've talked about it.
I know, that's why I brought it up. A throwback for you people that our heads have swollen to recognizing as an audience. In a matter of minutes.
See, now I just got that remember those Gusher commercials?
Yeah. Yes. I really like the flute. The flute sold it.
Yeah.
So
you get a little toll in there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So this will be a little unrelated.
Okay.
But it was a thought that I've had.
Okay.
Stewing in my head for like a couple weeks. What are the parameters of like cannibalism within like, say, D&D? Dwarf eating dwarf is definitely cannibalism.
Yep.
Dwarf eating elf?
Okay. Now I understand your question better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would assume humanoid on humanoid
Is cannibalism?
is cannibalism. Because, like, if a bobcat eats a cheetah,
Right.
that's got to be cannibalism, right?
Is it?
I don't know.
It doesn't seem... No, I don't know. Because, well...
If you feed a chicken scrambled eggs, is that cannibalism?
That seems closer than, like, a bobcat eating a cheetah.
Okay. Why are we talking about this?
I don't know, because it's a weird thought I had in my head.
Are you planning on having a blood ceremony soon?
We could. To honor the Lord of Misrule.
Yes.
I don't. What's Misrule? Is this just like a bad judge?
I think so. I think it's the American justice system. They're Canadians, and they're commenting that the Americans like to lord over everyone, but there's a bad justice system. So it's just the lords of misrule.
Gotcha. And the devil's widow is
Mexico.
I think that about wraps it up. I think that's about it.
Yep.
Dingus and Dongus.
Debacle.
So we went with, we both do that. We go, so we went, or so the album, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do that differently.
Well, we went.
Well, we went so.